Hello and welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to Ori and the Will of the Wisps. This will be my first impressions of the game, and more importantly, I think I'll focus on why this game is absolutely brilliant and why you should try it. If you have any interest in 2D games, and hell, even if you don't, this game is very unique and absolutely gorgeous, and I'm going to talk about why I love it so much, and, well, let's get on with it, I suppose. So, Ori and the Will of the Wisps is, as you can probably tell by the gameplay in the background, a 2D sort of Metroidvania action platformer with some RPG elements, a very neat storytelling mechanic, and style in general, where you unlock bits of the world and bits of the story as you progress through the different maps. Well, not really different maps, as the game is actually just one giant map, divided into some areas, obviously, but it is open, and it is a lot like Hollow Knight, if any of you have ever played that game, or at least have seen gameplay of it. However, it looks a lot more like Hollow Knight than it actually plays on a first glance, if that makes sense. So, from seeing like a few bits of gameplay here and there, you might be... you'll be forgiven for thinking that it copied quite a bit of Hollow Knight. Not necessarily true. The game brings some gameplay elements and aspects clearly inspired from Hollow Knight, or at least, I don't know about inspired, but at least quite similar to Hollow Knight, such as the... actually, I'll show you right now. The spirit shards here are a very Hollow Knight-esque mechanic. You can pick 3 and you can unlock a whole load of them, but you can only have 3 available at any given time, I think. See, some of these are labelled slightly differently with the circle thing, so I'm not quite sure what that means, but this is fairly early on into the game. There is an inventory system with all sorts of things you can pick up. You can use the energy you gain from defeating enemies to unlock more abilities and upgrade certain things about Ori, and so on and so forth. So the RPG elements are sort of in line, I suppose, let's say, with Hollow Knight, but the game is very much different, as Hollow Knight was a sort of more Dark Souls-y-ish type of game with an emphasis on respawning and death and collecting the... well, I don't want to call them souls, but that's what they effectively were from fallen enemies. This is a little bit different in its approach. It's more platforming and a little bit less action and a little bit less fighting. However, there are boss fights as well, and ow. And this is on medium difficulty, or on normal, I think it's called. Officially in the game, there is a higher difficulty level with slightly more unforgiving enemies, and a easier difficulty mode where for people that just want to experience the visuals and the story. So, what is so terrific about the game? Well, I'm going to start off with one of the easier things to talk about, and that is the visuals. The attention to detail... well, okay, so first of all, obviously the game's bloody gorgeous. The lighting is fantastic. The graphical style and the art style and all that are absolutely perfect. So gorgeous. I have nothing but praise for the developer and the sort of like the, what do you call them, the visual... the people responsible for the visuals, alright? Let's not begin sentences we're not sure how we're going to end. Anyhow, it is absolutely terrific, but there is a bit more to be said about the entire thing. Namely, there is a lot of attention to details visually. First of all, the animation qualities, both in the like sort of cutscenes and cinematic moments, as well as the animations when fighting and all of that, are superbly done. Both fluid, very responsive, very cool looking, very, just great in every sense of the word, but also there is quite a lot of attention to detail when it comes to these. So, for example, I'll try and show you like the little it's the little things, the little attacks and the moves you do, and how various different parts of your character's body react to that, and also, very importantly, how the terrain, both the foreground and the background, react to your character's movements. This might seem like a relatively simple thing to do, but the fact that this bridge slightly moves when I walk across it, and when I jump across it, it moves slightly more, and when an enemy slams into it, it moves even more. The little details like that, and it's not just for the bigger things like that bridge. There's also the, you see the little tufts of grass there, or moss or whatever they are, how they move when you jump on top of the tree. Stuff like this seems sort of irrelevant when maybe you're looking at the gameplay, and fair enough, maybe to some people they are irrelevant in general. But I dare say that for most of us, when you actually get into the game, when you start, going through the levels, you're gonna notice things like that, and see the bones moving there as well. It's the tiny little attentions to detail that really just don't go, they don't end at like tufts of grass or whatever. There's really all sorts of things, and they are present throughout the game that are really absolutely fantastic. Now, I'm assuming that this will kill me. And indeed, I was correct. Yeah, I don't see how I'm supposed to... Ooh! I've got an idea. Uh-huh. There we go. And I think we can continue moving this. Yes, we can. Terrific. Puzzle solving as well. I mean, it has it all. But no, it's a good segue, both from the gameplay in the background perspective and from what I want to talk about. Other than the visuals, the game is actually very, very good. The combat is difficult enough to be rewarding and yet not frustrating, at least on normal difficulty, but again, that is adjustable. It strikes a great balance between a satisfying feel of an adventure game and, posing and presenting enough of a challenge to the player to actually be, gameplay and a proper gamer experience, whatever that, however you might want to define that. The game also features a very good balance between puzzle solving, defeating bosses and enemies, and platforming. Matter of fact, I could talk about the balance of those three elements, let's say, for quite a while on their own, disregarding everything else. They are superbly well put together, thought out, and I'm completely lost and I need to look at the map. We're going up, alright. Whoops. Ow. Alright. The boss fights also, I hope we're going to get to one relatively soon. That is, if I can find my way back to where I'm supposed to go. The boss fights are actually done really, really interestingly as well. They are proper boss fights with, an HP bar and an arena, and you have to fight, and they're relatively difficult. Mind you, this is very early on into the game. I think this is like the first 5% of the game or something along those lines. I didn't want to show more, or I didn't want to play through more before making a video, because I don't want to spoil much about the story. But yeah, it is really, really well thought out and done on so many different aspects that it's kind of difficult to describe and note it all without actually having to, having to show you in depth, and that is like to basically play through most of it, right? I need to find this guy again. The enemies do respawn, by the way, I believe after you, leave the area, or after you die they respawn, and after you save the game at a well, What's a well? Don't worry about it. It's a thing. You need not worry about it right now. Anyhow, we've unlocked a new area, so let's see what dangers may lie in it. Good. Ooh, alright, that was a bit tough. Good. Furthermore, the way the game introduces new mechanics, I found very much interesting. Obviously, there is a fair bit of content that is gated behind certain abilities. You cannot get that collectible, and you cannot go to that area until you get a double jump. You cannot go through here until you've acquired that type of attack, so on and so forth. But the way that it integrates you slowly, you know, one mechanic at a time, one extra ability, one extra piece of the puzzle at the time, is also really, really well thought out. Because it's more than a simple, you know, here's double jump, go and you know, go and do double jumps now and then progress to the next area. It goes back and forth. I remember, for example, the very beginning of the game, I played it yesterday, the way it introduced the attack ability was very fascinating to me. There's like a separate gameplay mechanic, almost, when it comes to the attack ability being introduced. It gave you a torch. It didn't give you the lightsaber thing I have now. That's an upgrade for it, basically. Well, in retrospect, it was an upgrade. In reality, I had a torch, and then I lost the torch, right? So then I went back to, like, the beginning of the game where I didn't have an attack. It's a tiny little detail in the grand scheme of things, absolutely. However, it's present throughout the game, through, like, from double jump to different skills to, you know, so on and so forth. Side quests as well. As we need to talk about the quests and the side quests and all that as well, and the collectibles. But yeah, like this sort of methodical, slow, and not necessarily even slow in terms of time, but I would say well-paced and thought out and detailed introduction of different gameplay elements one at a time is very much interesting and unique almost to the game. Obviously it's not the first to think of something like this, but the way it implements all of these things I find quite unique, especially in recent memory, right? For we're talking about some of the newer games. Also, the enemy variety is quite satisfactory. You sort of see patterns of enemies. The slug things, the feral bunnies, I'm gonna call them. Not quite sure what they are. And you have these big jumping dudes. It's not that many, but they are unique, absolutely. They're not just reskins of the same enemy. They are very much unique, and they present different challenges, especially on harder difficulties. Like, you're gonna need to, yeah, this is gonna, you know, it's gonna give you some problems. Anyways, why was that so difficult to achieve? Alright, cool. Moving on then. To, I suppose, the quests and the unlockables and all of that. So, there is a metric ton of collectibles, unlockables, secrets, call them whatever you want, littered throughout the world, hidden behind, back there, I think about like 10 seconds ago, you saw, energy to heal, interesting, alright. Oh, and this is also like a fun little thing. This is your ability wheel. You can have different abilities, but you can only assign 3 of them. So you can have a total of like 1, 2, 3. You can count the dots, right? 12, right? Yeah, you can have 12. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Okay, good. I'm not losing my mind. You can have 12, but you can only assign 3 at a time, which is like the sort of decision-making thing of how you're going to build your character adds a lot, I think, to the game. Added on top are these shards and things, which I can actually, yeah. Increases damage dealt and taken by 15%. Actually, I don't want that. Never mind. And it all comes coupled on top of, and I can't stress this enough, an absolutely gorgeous aesthetic that varies as well, like the colours, the plants, and so on and so forth, the background as well varies extensively, and I mean the game is just gorgeous. But we're not done yet with it. Oh no, it has more to offer. The quests, very much like Hollow Knight. I think the comparison is unjustified in some aspects because the game is quite different in some respect, right? In terms of how it balances between puzzle solving, exploration, boss fights, and fighting. You're going to see quite a bit of difference between it and Hollow Knight. However, on the other hand, it does have quite a bit of common ground with the game. So, kind of like Hollow Knight, you're going to find various things around the world that are completely independent from... They're like side characters or side missions. They're completely independent from the main story. You can choose to help them or not. There's going to be merchants like this that you saw. The world is really rich. And thank you for giving me the map. This is very useful to demonstrate my next point. Game's bloody massive, right? I mean, this is just a small portion of the game, and a small portion of what's it called, Inkwater Marsh. If we go over here, like that's another map, and I think more will unlock, like when I go here, the more will unlock in that general direction. Anyways, the reason I'm saying all of this is I've seen quite a few people talk about the price point of the game, which is something I like to conclude with, but I'll mention it here because I've basically ranted on and on about different gameplay aspects and different features to the game that I feel like it is necessary to mention this right now. The game is absolutely worth its price in my modest opinion, and if you look at this and think, yeah, this might be something I'm vaguely interested in, I fully encourage you to try it, even if you have no interest in platformers and 2D games. I dare say that this is one of the finest platformers I've played, maybe ever. Right? Ooh, cool. Spirit Shard. Reduce damage taken. See, this is something I'm very much interested in. Good. Can we go... Can I not break this? No. Unfortunate. Alright. Anyhow, it also has a very cute story. Yes, and I choose my words carefully. It's just cute. It's naivishly cute. There is no, you know, end-of-the-world type scenario, at least not yet from what I've seen. You're trying to find your friend who's an owl and has an injured wing. That's it. Like, this is a childish level naivety of the main character, and it fits the game so well. Right, even the enemies you see, they're not exactly enemies, it's just, you know, they're just other beings there, and, you know, you uncover a sort of grander plot as you go along, and I won't spoil any of the story, but, you know, you uncover the significance of various things, and more about yourself as well as the protagonist as you go along and meet various characters. So it like slowly introduces you to this, but starts off from a very simple, cartoon, naive point, and then you grow as your character grows into, you know, a more significant, I suppose, being in the world. Anyhow, let's get back to the map, because I'm a little bit lost and I'm not quite sure. Alright, this way. Got it. I apologise for my stupidity. I'm talking about. I'm thinking about what I'm going to talk about, and not really focusing that much on what I'm doing. How do I get up there? Because, like, am I just being stupid? No, I'm just being stupid. Alright. Yeah, here we go. Much better. Ow. Could you please not? Thank you. Brilliant. Also brilliant. Now, does this use... Ah. Understandable. Alright, that's my healing ability. I've never used it so far. Because I'm such a badass, I didn't need to. Jokes aside. Yup. It is magnificent. Ooh, interesting. Yes, I would like to purchase. Spawn a spirit orb that attacks for you. Interesting. Pound foes with a strong sweeping blow. Throw a powerful spear of light, uses a large amount of energy. Throw a star that returns to you. Set nearby enemies on fire. I think I'm going to go with this. Next one comes in cheaply. Well, this one wasn't cheap either. I mean, from the start of the game, I only collected 600 of the point things. Alright, so you want me to go down there and find the Howl... what's it rather, for you. And you want me to go up here and do the thing as well. Alright. That's adorable. He can't reach me and he's trying to. He is really, really desperately trying to. Ooh. That's new. That is new. Alright, I've completely lost track of my thoughts there. Anyhow, you look irresistibly like a Hollow Knight enemy, I'll be honest with you. Alright, missed on my dodge. Ooh, good. Come here. Gotcha. Haha. And now let's heal up. Glorious. Glorious indeed. Alright. I mean... I genuinely think the game speaks enough for itself. It is a terrific experience. It's more than anything else. It is a terrific experience. Everything combines into... just that, you know. Oh, this is bloody gorgeous. I'm gonna shut up and let you watch this. This is our friend, by the way. We're trying to find him. Aww. A crocodile, no? Oh no, helpful little... Ooh. Okay, thank you. Mighty kind of you. Hi. I like this character quite a bit, honestly. Amusing levels of world manipulation. Truly amusing. Alright. There you go. Now I'm just playing the game and enjoying it, honestly, more than doing anything productive, like, yeah, I figured that would happen, but, oh well. I wish I could swing from that thing, but alas, alack. Alright, let's heal up and, descend. Ooh, another tree. Oh, we have frames back, thank you. I mean, it's just gorgeous, look at it! Ooh. Assign this to B. Ah, this is a different... alright. Well, would you look at that? Very interesting. Huh. Alright. So, ultimately, I started talking about the price point of the game at some point, and then it completely distracted me in every way, shape, and form. Yeah, so I've seen quite a few people say that any game that's 2D and like Metroidvania style doesn't deserve to be like more than, I don't know, $10 or $15 or something along those lines. And this game is, I think, currently selling for $25. It absolutely is worth the price. I mean, you have a ton of content here. I've been playing for around 2 hours, I think, and I'm 5% in, according to the game. Plus, if you're going to be a perfectionist and going to get all the collectibles and everything, that's tons and ow. Tons and ow. That's tons and tons of more content for you to... Oh, I'm going to kill myself doing this. Let's try and not, alright. Ooh, do you reckon I can do it like this from here? If I can hit. Ah, yes I can. Lovely. Lovely indeed. And what's that do? Oh. Oh, sod. Bit of a timer then, eh? You're fighting me here, game. Anyhow. No, let it go down and all. Yeah. I landed on it, I swear you just... Ugh. Alright, anyways. I'm gonna spare you the painful experience of watching me try and solve puzzles, and instead redirect you to the Steam page where you can pick this up for yourselves, because it is absolutely fantastic. I think it's absolutely worth its weight in gold, and it's absolutely worth the price, because you have a ton of content, you have a fantastic experience where every single well-made decision in terms of making the story, the maps, the abilities, the characters, everything, the art style, the way the story is presented and the narrative, all sort of blend into one perfectly and are not just separate good things to marvel and look at, but they all blend into one phenomenal experience, and this is by far the best 2D adventure game I've played probably ever, and I think this is what I'm going to do until quarantine is over, with the entire pandemic and all that. But, yeah. Thank you very much for watching, ladies and gentlemen. Like, subscribe, and if you enjoyed the video, I want to stay tuned with the rest of the content I produce here. Until next time, have fun, take care, and bye-bye. And for what it's worth, I apologise for not being very, how do I put this, concise in the video itself. I'm just very excited, and I just wanted to share my passion about the game and share my love for it, more so than just give you a list of things that I like about it, and like have this sort of script to read from or whatever, and then have like a, you know, cold dishing of information throughout the video. But rather I just wanted to have it a bit more organic. I know that some people prefer to just hear what the game's about, hear what it's good about, and just, you know, go on and make the decision for themselves to whether to investigate it further or to download a demo or to buy the game. But, you know, it's a different style, let's say, of first impressions, and yeah, but it is a different style of game, and it's kind of quite unique in today's market. So yeah, there you go. Bye bye.